My name is Felipe. I've watched Bigger Pockets for a while now, and I kind of wanted to share my story about how I bought my rental properties and how I've gotten to about, I would say, 10 doors now of rental units.
How did you start with real estate?
So in real estate, I started when I was 17, I believe. What happened was my mom had given me a mobile home that I started renting out. As soon as she gave it to me, I moved out of the house. I rented it. I lived in it with the tenant. I knew that was going to be the best way for me to not have to pay the lot fee on it, which is $325, and I rented the room to the gentleman for $500. So I cash flowed a couple $100 there.
With a mobile home fix and flip.
Right. So after I had that mobile home, I went off to college and I left my tenant there at that one. That was lot 20. From there I did lot 9. No, that's a lie. I did lot 6. And what happened there was I was coming back from college and I was trying to make some money. And what I did was I found a mobile home that was for sale. With that mobile home, I fixed it, I rented it out, and I lived in one of the rooms. And what happened was, in May 2010, Nashville got hit with some pretty bad floods, and that mobile home actually got flooded out. It was a disaster. I thought for me it was done. I lost all my money, and what I did was I ended up making about $20,000 on that home because FEMA wrote me a check for $30,000 after that house.
So tell me about your next property.
Sure. So my next property was a property that I had purchased right out of college. What happened was, I graduated college, and I knew I didn't want to move in back to a mobile home over with my mom. And this was in 2012. The market in Nashville wasn't red hot yet. It was just starting, and rates were still really low. So what I did was, I found a house that was sold for $125 is what I bought it, $125,000, and I got a great rate on it. It was 3.25. And what I did was I moved my tenants from the mobile homes into the house, and I moved into the master bedroom so that I again didn't have to pay a mortgage. 3 properties, still no mortgage. Sure. So the next deal that I did was the condo, or I'm sorry, the townhouse. That one came about because I had met my wife, Christina, and she lived in a townhouse. So what we did after we got married was take ownerships of all 3 properties. So now we had the house, her townhouse, and a mobile home.
Tell me about the next one.
Sure. So in my next property, what I did was I talked to my wife about selling her townhouse. We had some pretty good equity in it. The Nashville market was starting to get hot. So what I did was I sold her townhouse and I invested that money into another property. So there, we bought a house in Nashville, close to the airport, because I knew the history and I knew how to rent out properties. So what I did was I rented that house immediately on Airbnb, knowing that it was close to the airport. So I'd be getting all that business. Again, not paying a mortgage. Keep in mind, now we're married, and I haven't paid a mortgage since we've been married, since I was in high school and in college. It wasn't that hard to talk my wife into Airbnb, especially not paying a mortgage.
Property after that.
So after I moved in with my wife, had Airbnb flowing for a while, I decided to quit my job that I had gotten out of college because it wasn't for me to live, or to work in a cubicle all day. Something I didn't like. I couldn't stand it. So I decided to go self-employed, do my own thing, pick up my own contracts. And I wanted to buy another house or another property, but as you might know, I was only 3 months self-employed, and the banks basically laughed me out. I called plenty banks, and no one would take the risk on me. So what I did was I had saved up some money, and I bought another mobile home. I bought this mobile home, fixed it, rented it for about a year, cash flow, got all the money that I invested back into it in the first year of rent, and then some. I made about $500 a month, or a little more, plus down payments, etc. And then I sold it for an extra $3,000 than what I purchased it a year ago on that one.
But the next property.
So the next property was the condo, M24. So the condo came about because, well, honestly, I was seeing everybody else buy properties and I was just anxious to buy. Probably the worst thing you can do. But I had some cash flow saved up and I didn't want to just sit in the bank. So what I did was I found a property. We call it M24. It's a condo in Nashville. That cash flow is about $500 a month after all expenses. I paid it cash because I didn't want my money sitting in the bank. I bought it off of a insurance company where they had multiple of them burned down, and they fixed them, brought them back up, and I was able to purchase it. And luckily the tenant works about 2 minutes down the road. She's a sheriff at the closest jail there, so she loves the commute. And if you know anything about Nashville, traffic is crazy. So I know the rent is going to be on time because it's government check, so it's guaranteed. And it, like I said, it cash flows a good amount. And that was purchased just simply because I still was in my 2 years of self-employment where I couldn't borrow any money.
Talk to me about the next deal.
So the next deal came finally after my 2 years of self-employment were up. I had my business for 2 years, and the banks finally were allowing me to borrow money. And during those 2 times of self-employment, I basically read every book that I could get my hands on about real estate and finance. Robert Kiyosaki, Bigger Pockets book, Thomas Wheelwright, all these financial books. So I had got a lot of knowledge. I was ready to use. I had knowledge, and I had finance, and now I finally had 2 years of self-employment. So what I did was I looked for a property that would cash flow. I wanted as many doors as I could consolidated, so a quadplex and a duplex, something like that. What I ended up finding was about 50 miles outside of Nashville, I found a quadplex and a duplex on one lot that I could buy from a gentleman out there. And it was close to a college, so I knew that the rent was always going to be there, and that was good. And I ended up purchasing that from a bank that I moved all my money in those 2 years. I moved all my finances and all my money into this bank that I knew eventually I would ask a loan from, because I knew that if I had all my money there, then they knew all my history and all the cash that was coming in and out, and they had it all there. I didn't have to go through different banks, so I knew what bank I wanted to use. My left hand basically washed my right hand. I knew that I wanted to put my money where I was going to ask for a loan, so I used that bank to finance that deal. It came unexpectedly, actually. I wasn't planning on purchasing any more properties after the quadplex and the duplex. But what happened was my mom called me. She was at a yard sale, and she asked me to come out and look at it because the owner was going to put the house for sale the next day. So I came, I saw the house, I told the guy that I'd like to offer on it. I didn't have the bank approval yet, I didn't have any of that information ready yet, but I knew that if I could find a deal, the money wasn't hard to find. And that's very true. So what I did was I told him that I would offer him about $40,000 under what he was gonna ask for it. Basically what happened was his mother had passed away. He was in from out of town, didn't know the market. This realtor just probably wanted to sell it quick. So I offered him about, I think I said 40 to 50,000 less than market value for it. Obviously the bank jumped on it, it was easy to finance it. So we got that under contract before it even went to market.
Did you finance all your deals?
Like this, picking up sticks, working.